Welcome back YouTube. Today I'm going to walk you through another myth busting series where I take you through 3 commonly heard terms, phrases or opinions and tell you whether or not they are true. 99% of the time they're not true. You know, the little people inside you also have to get some sleep and they stop after 6 p.m. If you do enjoy the video, please drop a like. If you have any questions throw them down below, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Let's go. Okay, so first and foremost, we have eating past 6 p.m. is bad when it comes to fat loss. Yes, some people believe and some people will tell you that eating past a certain time of night is going to stop you from dropping body fat. Apparently, the processes of fat oxidation, dropping body fat, burning body fat, stop after a certain time of day. You know, the little people inside you also have to get some sleep and they stop after 6 p.m. Obviously that's not true, in case people were getting a little bit confused there. To be honest with you, there's not much to say on this other than it's absolutely bollocks. The only time this would stop you from dropping body fat is that if every single day across a week, for weeks and 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 weeks, you're hitting your calorie target for that day at exactly 6 p.m. So then eating after 6 p.m. would actually then take you over your calorie target, therefore taking you out of a deficit. If that was the case, again, for every day at 6 p.m. for weeks and 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 weeks, then yes, it would stop you from dropping body fat because you're no longer in a deficit. But if you remain in a deficit, then you can eat past 6 p.m. and still drop body fat. 2. Fasting is best. Now this is kind of a myth and kind of not a myth, and I'll tell you why. It's a myth because it's not best for fat loss. Not everyone's going to find fasting best for fat loss. But it also kind of isn't a myth because some people might find fasting just a great way for them to drop body fat, right? And if you find it a great way for you to drop body fat, then yeah, sweet, it works, go for it. But not everyone's going to find it, and therefore it isn't the best method. So if someone's telling you, oh, you have to try fasting, it's great for fat loss. It might be for you, it might work for you, it doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. Also with fat loss, there's going to be, certain pros, cons, there's going to be discussions about the benefits behind it, and then there's also going to be discussions about potential issues behind it. The only one concern I have with fasting when it comes to fat loss is that because you're going for such a prolonged period of time without eating, it means that your protein feedings are then not very frequent. And does that then have the potential to make us a little bit concerned about muscle wastage? Potentially. But again, there's a lot of different factors to include and to think about. So can fasting be useful for fat loss? Yes, depending on the individual. Is it best for fat loss? No. And then lastly, weight loss will be linear. So the idea and the expectation that when you start your goal, weight is just going to continue to drop in a straight line. So from week to week, you're going to always see the same rates of loss. Right? So people just expect every week I'm going to lose 2 pounds. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds. It's not true. It doesn't work like that. However, if you are on the ball, if you are controlling a lot of different variables and you are really, really on the ball with things, weight loss and fat loss can be quite linear. However, that is probably an unrealistic expectation because, 1, you might not be an individual that can control all these different variables, whether that is due to other priorities in life, whether that is knowledge, whether that is application, whatever it might be. You might not have the ability to do that. And to expect that you can, to think that you can, especially if you're very new, is probably just going to cause frustration and then backfire. What you'll likely see, especially with weights, and this is why taking weight alone as a scale, as a progression marker isn't fantastic, is that you'll see your weight actually almost go up and down. So one week you might drop 2 pounds, next week you might drop 1, week after that you might drop 3, week after that it might hold, week after that it might even go up a little bit, especially if you're a female, when you've got to take into considerations the stuff of the menstrual cycle. Weight can fluctuate a lot, okay? That's what you'll commonly see, right? And that's why taking weight alone as a progression marker isn't fantastic, because if some people see weight hold or even increase, all of a sudden that causes frustration, they might act out of emotion, and it might just backfire. So my advice would be, one, don't expect it to be linear. If you have weeks where it slows down, if you have weeks where it holds, have weeks where it even goes up, not the end of the world, stay consistent. If that's happening for multiple consistent weeks, then yes, things likely need to change. Two, don't just rely on weight as a progression marker. Also take things such as measurements, pictures, focus on progressions within the gym, how you're feeling, because even if weight does hold and other things are progressing, then you're still making progress. So there you have it, 3 commonly heard terms, phrases or opinions, and whether or not they are true. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like. If you have any questions after this, throw them down below. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Catch you on the next one.